This one will be about measurement accuracy as an engineer. And I'm thinking about the eye has a power of 60 diopters. If you measure to 1% accuracy, that's 6/10 of a diopter. That's as accurate as you can get. So when you see measuring my refractive state, that is the error band that I give for myself. This means that no accuracy measurement be a quarter of a diopter. That's pure imagination, which is also why I have to measure repeatedly. So when I give a refractive state measurement, I've got to repeat it long term. So where did this idea come from? Well, it came from what engineers were doing in the 60s. That's a post slide rule. Basically, all engineers, you see them with this on their belt going through 4 years of electrical engineering. So the standard accuracy for this slide rule is what? It's 3%. But in engineering, you're dealing with resistors that have 10% accuracy, maybe 10%. So all your calculations are done with that understanding. You're going to get a good measurement given the status of things. Later on, you could do the refinement in all measurements. So you see me measuring my refractive state using a test lenses and a standard pinhole to determine if I have a medical problem or not. Now let's talk about kids. I did dumb things with my eyes. I didn't do it intentionally. But the combination of that habit and a minus lens basically killed my eyes. No one is to blame, and I obviously regret it. I'd never do that again. Which also explains why, when I had a chance, and respecting my eyes as dynamic systems, I worked to go from about -1 diopter plus to +1/2 diopter, or 20/20. That is not hyperopia. That is what you want, what you need. And I mean positive state, meaning I read 20/20 and I could still read 20/20 through a +1/2 diopter lens. That's objective measurements because I make them. This is what optometrists don't do. They use a retinoscope, and it might be close, but it's never accurate. So that's why I make a video of myself using a pinhole followed by some test lenses. And my goal was to see if I could get my refractive state to change from a negative value to a positive value. And just to see what I could accomplish objectively. And you're going to tell me, no, you've got to get somebody to use a retinoscope on you to have an accurate measurement. I say, no, that's not accurate. Even Lensight, when he measures the way I measure it, objectively, because he can't use a retinoscope on himself. So that's why I talk about accurate measurements requires long-term measurement, personal. I don't see how you could do it in any other way than that way. That does beg the question is, if I'm doing vision clearing or changing my refractive state, what would a retinoscope show for me? I don't know, because I never had that chance, and there's no need for a retinoscope if I make all the measurements. That makes me completely responsible for everything, good or bad, win or lose. keep on thinking of the Eskimos. I give broad-based pictures of all eyes from birth, the primate eyes, the Eskimo eyes, and ask questions like that. And that was Frank Young's PLUS studies. Sorry, dynamic eye studies, as I would say it. Others would say defective eye studies. It makes a vast difference in knowledge and wisdom to think correctly about it. So that's why you see me using very basic lenses to measure my refractive state. My goal was to go from negative to positive by objective measurements. How else can you do it? So that's where we stand. I made commentary on Rupa Wong's picture of a child. Children are born with a positive refractive state of about 4 diopters at birth. Same as the primates. It's a curve from 0 to 8 plus 8 diopters. That's the completely normal eye. There is no defect, no failure, yet they call that hyperopia. I say it's a wrong idea to talk and use that term. State what you measure, refractive state with a retinoscope. What happens? For the Eskimos, no school. The curve came down and stabilized at 1 diopter. In other words, they had a positive refractive state in 2020 and absolutely no defect. That is what optometry calls hyperopia, and I say it's nuts to use that term. On an Eskimo eye that is totally normal and has a valuable positive refractive state. And if you measure the way I measure it, that would be 2020 with a positive refractive state, if the Eskimo wanted to do it that way. But they never do it that way. After 12 years in school, the self-same Eskimos, everything is the same, except that they're doing this in school. In which case, previously they had 100% 2020, but now 85% have negative refractive states. And everybody says, we don't know what's happening. That shouldn't have happened. You have bad eyes. You have bad heredity. We're doing the best we can, but they need that minus lens. And it can't be prevented. Prevention is totally impossible, according to optometrists. I'm sorry, I must disagree. But getting a person to understand prevention has got to be one of the most difficult tasks anybody could have. So that's my commentary on me personally making objective measurements of my refractive state. From the primate eye, if you don't put glasses on it, the primate eye, both eyes will be with a half diopter of each other. This means you don't have to prescribe for each individual eye separately, because it's a bad mistake. That is also why I use the same Power Plus on my eyes for prevention when I'm reading. So yeah, my nearsightedness was completely my fault. Kids have terrible habits and they pay a hell of a price for it. Not knowing, not understanding, not beginning prevention at 2040. You can say I'm wrong, I'm sure you will, or I'm wrong-headed, whatever, I don't care. I care about me keeping my distant vision clear, if at all possible, by making my own objective measurements. Rupa Wong does it right. She gets rid of the close work. She doesn't understand the plus lens or use of a plus lens, which doesn't matter. As long as the kids read at 20 inches, they'll keep their refractive state positive as measured. For me, using a plus, it's the same thing as keeping my eyes 20 inches off the page. And that's engineering. And make your own measurements. So yes, this was engineering in the 1960s. Hope you enjoy this. I enjoy the intellectual challenge of understanding the behavior all completely normalized at birth. It's a profoundly different perspective than anything they teach in optometry or medicine for that matter. I wish we were all offered the possibility of prevention by 2040, but it means you'd have to be an engineer to understand it and maybe not do it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But if you're in engineering school and you went down slightly, you might be interested in doing what I'm doing. Add your own commentary. Thank you.